Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us out. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there in Dolphins land. Interesting day on social media for your Miami Dolphins. First off, we're in cryptic season. It is cryptic season when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and where we're going with things and certain posts that are all over the place. You have Jevon Holland. He's out here putting up a clip of Usher basically saying, sometimes you got to go away, say goodbye, blah, 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 blah. So Jevon Holland's out here making it known he's likely saying goodbye. Doesn't seem like a big surprise to me. They've been trying to get rid of Jevon Holland for a long time. Basically have been looking for him to get his replacement, and then that replacement comes in and either isn't as good or seems to have injury issues. And now you have Jalen Ramsey here, who the new defense coordinator is calling, the ultimate chess piece. And, didn't mention Jevon Holland in the ending press conference, and that definitely stood out. You have a lot of guys that you're probably going to have to pay. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jevon Holland is an interesting case because he's going into the last year of his deal. And Jevon Holland today on social media, make of this what you will. He is one to troll. He is one who likes to play the social media games, but then will also back off and remember, he posted the Kick Rocks video, then denied the Kicks Rock video had anything to do with Vic Fangio. Snowman was lying there. But today he posts a SpongeBob meme, which I'm a little out of the game with. I've watched more SpongeBob now probably with my 8-year-old son than I have when I was actual kid. SpongeBob was a little bit past my my youth. It was not one of the Nicktoons that I really got into. But the SpongeBob memes are very popular on social media, and he posts a SpongeBob holding a fistful of cash. Now, is he talking about his payday coming on up? Hard to say. I don't know. It would not be surprising, though, that if we are in a situation where Jevon Holland is looking at the landscape of things and seeing that Tua's going to be in some contract negotiations, Christian Wilkins, I assume, is going to be in contract negotiations or franchised or somewhere over the next couple of weeks. We're going to learn the fate of 94 and where he's going to go. I don't think they can afford to lose him. Holland is an interesting case, though, because he's a second-round pick, so you don't have that fifth-year option. You do run the risk of, do you let him play the contract out? Does he seem like the type of guy that would hold out? I could see that happening. Very, very savvy on social media. His dad uses social media. He was also vocal about Vic Fangio going. So this feels like it could go towards making a Stinkville. The interesting thing with him, though, is he has the ending of last year. He has that unfortunate injury with the 2 MCL sprains. Tried to play through it, which you have to give him a lot of credit for working his way back, because he did not look right dealing with the 2 MCL sprains and dealing with that type of injury and how it hindered him in his performance. So I am very curious to see where the Miami Dolphins go with this with Jevon Holland, because I think a lot of the metrics, the football people, everybody loves Jevon Holland, and I don't think that this is going to be some type of thing where Jevon Holland's going to give the Dolphins any kind of discount. Not even saying that he should settle for one, but I do think that out of all the drama this year with the Miami Dolphins, this one has been a sneaky one, because it feels like most of the attention has been paid to Christian Wilkins, and the attention has been paid. Obviously, the number one story is going to be Tua. It always is. And now, and his money is going to dictate a lot of stuff. It was interesting hearing today with Jeff Darlington. I think he was on with Joe Rose, and he was talking about, what benefit do the Dolphins really get out of Tua and the long-term deal? Will it give them more kind of flexibility from a big standpoint? If there were benefits of that, then yeah, I would see the Dolphins doing it. But maybe the question is hey, do you go chips center of the table and everybody on this run has to prove it? Because this is the thing that's interesting about it. When you go and you have all these picks and you have, you hit on a lot of good picks. You hit on some great guys that have been in this rebuild. Rob Hunt and Holland and Jalen Phillips when he's up for it. And, and Jalen Waddle, who is going to go into his same year, same draft class as Jevon Holland, but they could always go fifth-year option on him because he's a first-round pick. But there are some interesting things that the Dolphins have to figure out. And they're interesting questions because you haven't done any real winning yet. You haven't gone to a playoff victory to know this is the foundation you need to rock with to go forward. Now, do I think that Javon Holland is a foundational piece and can be one of these guys that you absolutely need to win a championship? Absolutely. I think the guy has proven himself to be a very, very quality safety, very versatile. Probably felt like he was a little bit boxed in last year, even before the injuries. Didn't seem to really love where he was playing. I think that with him and Jalen Ramsey and this new defense, can he be in a spot where he's making even more of an impact? That's going to be the interesting thing. These are the types of things that I'm very interested to see with Anthony Weaver. But then that's also the case of, like, do you want a Jevon Holland who's possibly going to hold out of camp, learning a new defense, knowing that he's one of really, like, the captains of the defense? Or is this something that you really want to settle up quickly with? This is something that you really want to get done with so you have him there and you're learning everything that you need to, and he's having the impact that he can have on this defense right off the bat. It is a tough conundrum that the Dolphins are up with these guys, because you have to figure out what the hierarchy of all these things are, and who do you guys have to really, because let's just say, like, you play a Jevon Holland, all right? Let's say the Miami Dolphins go into this situation and say, you know what, we just don't have the flexibility to do this right now. We're going to have him play on the cheap skis. But then you're in a situation where, like, if you have to franchise Tua next year and him and Holland both play great, but then you lose Jevon Holland because he had this great year. Now, maybe you just pay him next year and things are better and things are easier for you to figure out in that spot. That could be the direction that you want to go. But it was it was one of those where I saw that, and maybe it means nothing. This is in the realm of could be something, could be nothing. I guarantee Jevon Holland is probably going to come out with a tweet. He may be doing it right now because I just saw him. He tweeted this out during the radio show today. But I guarantee you he could be one of these guys that's like looking at him and be like, hey, dum-dum, it had nothing to do with that. I was just watching SpongeBob at the time. But leads me to believe he knows what he's posting. He knows what he's posting. So, and I feel like he knows what he's posting. He's young and savvy enough to know, even if that's not what it means, you got to know that people are going to take it that way. Because one of the things that drives me nuts with professional athletes and social media is people are always like, oh, so quick to jump to conclusions. It's like, you're young. You know how social media works and how trolling works. Don't get upset because fans, media are going to jump to conclusions on your Twitter that you are being cryptic about. Because if you're up for a contract and you tweet about money, even if it's very vague and even if it's a cartoon, how are people supposed to take that? You know what I mean? So even like when people are like, oh, well, why are you, if Xavier Howard would be like, why are you looking so much into my social media saying goodbye? Huh? What do you mean? Because maybe you're going to leave the Dolphins, and like, how else are you supposed to take it? And if you're not, it should always come with the disclaimer, because it's going to make people bananas about it. It is. So you can't sit here and be like, wow, come on. You know what I was doing, dude. Wasn't that it? No. I mean, like, if you didn't want, like, I don't see Christian Wilkins on social media. Like, Christian Wilkins wasn't, you want to know why? Because I would take everything that he says as cryptically, yes, it's going to go through. Some people have fun with it. Like Dalvin Cook last year. It was fun to watch, like, with his whole thing, because he literally took, like, every compliment from every team and everything, and he ran with it. It was a great job by him. That's the way you should have fun. But you can't get bent out of shape about people jumping to conclusions. Not saying that Javon is, but you can't get surprised that people are going to jump to the conclusion that you're looking for some dough, and but hey, listen, maybe it means his contract's on the way. Who knows? Who's to say? Who's to say what the snowman might be getting? Hopefully, it's snowing a lot of dough for him. I love watching Jevon Holland play for the Dolphins. I don't want him to go anywhere. I want the Miami Dolphins to figure out this cap situation. Do your cap hocus pocus and figure it out, dude. Fix it.